Details. More details. The Super Jesus 47 game. The Super Jesus 47 Christ Games Saga. Completion explained. That's what this will be. The enemy wants to play a game on our lives, so I'm going to play a game on theirs. And my game is going to be titled Super Jesus 47. What's the whole point of this game? To hyper enlighten you out of existence. Meaning to purify you. This game is going to purify all of ye within the oppressive body. And in my sense of the word purify, it means kill. So yeah, these words are going to purify all of ye who serve this demon, playing this game on our lives and ensuring we do nothing but fail at everything and suffer to death without cause. So, the previous video I talked about this, part 1 of this here, Super Jesus 47 Christ Games Saga Completion Explained. Part 1 of it. I missed out on 4 specific details. I have them now. Just by listening to myself talk within that video, listening to some of the mistakes I made as well, and also now to finish off and or complete the game so I can have it fully weaponized to move forward with my objective and or my life. Super Jesus 47, what does it consist of? It's a 4-layer game that can all be culminated into one specific weapon, a sword, in which can be used and cannot be destroyed by the enemy to destroy them, and or stop them, and or take all of their powers away, and defend against them. It's what this game here can give you. Remember, they will never stop playing a game on our lives. You don't have to play this game on their lives, but I'm going to play this game on their lives. You don't have to watch me play this game on their lives. I'm just going to play it. Everything that I do and say at any time that I do and say it is for the cause, the sovereignty of principle, heart of hearts. So, details. 4 layers, right? The first layer is called the reawakening. The second layer is called the reincarnation. The third layer is called the resurrection. And then the final layer is called the reestablishment. Again, the reawakening, first layer. Reincarnation, second layer. Resurrection, third layer. And reestablishment, fourth layer. Now, each layer within this game here, that's just one game. Don't forget, it's just one game, one weapon that is now about to be sharpened and ready to go, depending on how you would like to use it. If you would like to use it. I'm going to use it to purify the oppressive body entirely. Moving forward. So, details. Each layer of the game has an ethnical 7-2 and an ethical 4-2. An ethnical 7-2 and an ethical 4-2. I omitted that detail last time. I'm going to incorporate it in this one. It has once again, each layer has an ethical. Notice the ethic and ethnic. There's a difference between the two words. One has an N and one doesn't have an N. The ethics, let's just say this. For the word ethics, you become a product of your environment. And then for the word ethnics, you become the average of the 5 people you associate with most. Thus, that's a phrase. Those 2 phrases you can use to label and describe a quick memory of the word ethnics and what it means, and the word ethics and what that means, and what the word ethic means. Once again, the word ethnics, where the 7-2 is going to be branched or labeled and describing. You become the average of the 5 people you associate with most, and for the ethics, where the 4-2 is going to be branching from, you become a product of your own environment. Product of your environment, 5 people you associate with most. Moving forward. So, each layer of the game is going to have an ethnical 7-2 and an ethical 4-2. So that means the reawakenings 4-7. Then also the reincarnations 4-7, the resurrections 4-7, and the reestablishments 4-7. Ethnics and ethical. So let's move forward now. Details. Let's zoom in on the first part of the game, the reawakening, which is also the conscious minds aspect. The reawakening part of the game is going to target your conscious mind. It's going to target your conscious mind. And how is it going to target your conscious mind? By bringing you awareness to the things that are in this world actually attacking it. And how am I in a sense attacking you? Because I'm telling you the truth. This is how I'm attacking you in a sense, because I am telling you the truth. And the truth is something that, quote unquote, hurts you, I see. But in reality, because this world is only being established with a lie, due to this world being established and preserved by a lie, preserved, keyword preserved by a lie, any amount of truth that gets into the world begins to destroy your establishment. So I'm just going to say a few more things out loud and call it a day. So, the conscious minds, ethnical 7-2, what are they? Or, first, before I say the ethnical 7-2, I want to say the ethical 4-2 first. Or just give you the ethical 4 and then tell you what the 2 are later. So what are the ethical 4 for the spiritual, for the Super Jesus 47's conscious mind reawakening part of the game? Are as follows. A title that can be labeled and described as the 4-corner mental spirit prison. The 4-corner mental spirit prison. That's what you can call it. Or you can call it whatever you want. You can label and describe it whatever you want, because this is a weapon that everyone is going to be able to utilize. Always remember, never forget. Everything that I do and say at any time that I do and say it is for the cause, the sovereignty of principle, heart of hearts. Everything that I do and say at any time that I do and say it is for the cause, the sovereignty of principle, heart of hearts. I will never lie to you nor mislead you. Integrity is the foundation of my tongue. I will never lie to you nor mislead you, for integrity is the foundation of my tongue. Moving forward now. So, the ethical 4 for the Super Jesus 47's conscious mind, or reawakening part of the game. Top layer, first layer, 4-corner mental spirit prison. Details of the 4-corner mental spirit prison, or the 4 mental spirit prison corner. Mental spirit prison corner, mental spirit prison corner. Spirit prison. These, check it out, the details. So on the left corner of this here spirit prison corner, 4 corners, remember, 4 corners, like a diamond, like a box, like a cube. Check out our sister Fluid's channel. She gives a detailed breakdown on what the Gnostics religion has been going over recently in the relations to the cube. Now you're also another reason why you're seeing why I'm using the square to label and describe what a prison is. A mental spirit prison, a cube, box. In my demonstration, it's a diamond though, but it's still, if you twist it the right way, it'll look like a square, representing a prison. Mental spirit prison, one in which we need to break free from. Think outside of the box, right, my dear sister Fluid? Moving forward. So, on the left corner of this here diamond, but if you turn it the other way, it'd be a box. On the left corner is vanity, or false pride, or artificial pride, or fake devil's worldly pride. And when I say the devil, I'm not talking about Satan's pride, because that ain't even a real devil. Moving forward. So, the first one is your fake pride, which you can label and describe as vanity. In the top corner, jealousy. And jealousy is in the top corner for a very, very, very specific reason. And then to the right corner, you have all 4, wrath, greed, gluttony, and lust. Why wrath, greed, gluttony, and lust on the right corner? Because in reality, all of the only thing in which we need to do in this reality is move in the right direction. That's the only one thing we all need to do. Everything that I do and say is for the sovereignty of principle, heart of hearts. Principle, heart of hearts way is always right, and it's always good at all times. That's the only thing we need to do. So, this enemy is going to put the most confusing aspects of all of the sins on that specific spot right there. Guaranteed. Reason why? Because the more you have us, the more things you have to distract us from the one thing we need to do, the harder it'll be for us to do the one thing. You follow what I'm saying? This is why I have within this here Super Jesus 47 game, on the first layer called the reawakening part of the game, in that right corner there, all 4, wrath, greed, gluttony, and lust, they govern that corner with their negative principality sins. You follow what I'm saying? All four are there in that corner. And then in the bottom corner is sloth. Now there are two more outside that I'm going to tell you in just a moment, but here, the bottom corner is sloth. And now the 7, the ethnical 7 of the game. The ethnical 7 are what you can label and describe as the 7 belief system pillars. Think of that word pillar, pillar. A pillar is like a building, or a pillar is like a castle, or a pillar is like a house. And in this case, you can say a driver. You follow what I'm saying? You become the average of the 5 people you associate with most. The 7 ethnical temples, or the 7 ethnical temples, or like I originally started due to the influence that my sister gave me to say this word, the 7 belief system pillars to be dismantled by any moral means necessary. Yeah, my sister gave me the idea for the pillars. Moving forward. So, the 7 belief system pillars, what are they? In detail. And guess what? There are also 2 more pillars outside of the initial 7, or the major 7. And what are they? I'm going to tell you in just a moment. So, the current 7 belief system pillars are, number 1, racism. Number 2, feminism. Belief system pillar 3, in which needs to be dismantled by any moral means necessary so it can go away and never exist ever again. Foul sexuality, or what you will call homosexuality. I call it for what it really is, foul and offensive sexuality, because of what is required to enforce that style of sexual practicing into our lifestyles or into our reality. What is required? What is required to get that style of sexual behavior or sexual orientation into our reality? What is required for it to get into our reality? What is required for it? You say people are born naturally foul sexual practitioners? That is insane. That is foul and is wrong. That is blasphemous. It's evil. The act, the practice is evil because what it is required to install and or force the practice into our reality. The third belief system pillar, in which needs to be targeted and dismantled and destroyed and incinerated by any moral means necessary, is what you would label and describe as homosexuality, but I look at it for what it really is, and I call it for what it really is, foul sexuality. Moving forward. The fourth belief system pillar. And originally, this was the third one, but I switched them around for the part of the game to work more effectively. And it's called the nerd and or geek belief system pillar. The nerd and or geek belief system pillar. Nerd, acronym, NERD. Neglected Earthrealm dreamers and or geeks, GEEK. Gamers evading everyday knowledge and or gentlemen evading everyday knowledge. This belief system pillar categorizes the rich, middle class, and all of ye who have been poverty-stricken due to colonization worldwide. Take these words with you. If your skin tone is a full shade or 2 darker than the pale oppressive body's natures, or oppressive body people, I am you, you are me, and we are one and the same being. They see you as the enemy, I see you as an ally. I see you as family, they see you as a threat. Classified to be some kind of subject or some kind of servitude. And also remember this as well, to all of those with the melanated skin tone in this world here. They, the oppressive nature or the oppressive body, they are the ones that wish to compete with you. We do not wish to compete with them at all. They are the ones that want to compete and cause all of these games and all this ruckus into our lives. Not us. That's not what we wish to do. What we wish to do is live on top of our one law of foundational servitude, which is love. If that makes sense to you. Meaning, we are all only supposed to be abiding by one law and one law alone, and that law is love. Love alone. But what they desire, since it makes them jealous, the fact that we only have one law, because remember, they just get jealous of everything that we do. Reason why they get jealous of everything that we do, because we are just there for them to be jealous of everything that we do and everything that we are. And since our one universal law was love, they said pluralism. Now you got hatred and love in one law. And since we didn't kill each other and don't kill each other naturally, jealousy of that. Now your gangsters, which is the 5th belief system pillar, gonna be killing each other because they live 5 blocks in the wrong direction for no reason at all. And then the 6th belief system pillar, the tribes, all 5,000 tribes on this planet. And then the 7th and final belief system pillar, all of the religions. Take these words with you as well. To every last one of you Muslims, like Aaron the Muslim, for example. You call yourself Aaron the plumber? Well, I see you as someone, as after what you said, especially on that reality TV star show, I'm going to see you as Aaron the Muslim. Aaron the plumber or Turtle Man? No. You are God in my eye, or at least a piece of God who deserves respect, as you all do, as you all will be obligated to experience, because I'm going to hyper enlighten you out of existence. Aaron the Muslim. Why am I saying these words to you right now? I'm going to fight you in the spirit one day. Soon, probably. Stay alive and well so I can perform this task. Our words will clash, the world will hear them, and the meteorite will shatter all of them out of existence by way of a hyper-enlightening meteorite. Yeah, the enlightenment meteorite. That's what I'm going to clash with Aaron the Muslim for in spiritual warfare. We're going to spiritually fight. I'm going to spiritually beat you up. I challenge you. Can you fight in the spirit? Aaron the Muslim, Aaron the plumber, Aaron the Muslim. I'm going to consume all of you Muslims into my conviction. All of you Jews, all of you Jewish people into my conviction. Especially all of you of the Christian family. You are going to be devoured immediately. I'm just trying to ensure nothing happens to you. Moving forward here. Especially all of you Hebrew Israelites, you are going to be devoured immediately into my conviction. I am going to devour all of ye who practice within the 10,000 religions on this planet into my one conviction. God will have his world. God will have his people, moving God's speed forever. Soul speed, one belief, and one foundation of love. Moving forward. Now, there are 2 belief system pillars outside of these major 7. And due to these 2 belief system pillars outside of the major 7, it also gives 2 more ethic codes or ethic grounds outside of the major 4 or the fundamental 4. You follow what I'm saying? And the 2 ethnical belief system pillars that are outside of the major 7 can be labeled and described as the King of Kings belief system, or Yahweh Shai, or Yeshua, or Yahusha. Yeshua, you could just stick with that name for a moment, because the name Jesus, when you look it up, the name Jesus means Yeshua. When you keep the J and don't go with the Isus or whatever you call it, just keep the J, and the name Jesus means Yeshua. You follow what I'm saying? Now, the name Yeshua means Yahweh is salvation. But when you translate the name Yeshua into English, it says Joshua. Guess that's where your J's come from. But here, I'm going to just stick with the name Yeshua. Me personally, we don't need any of the names, but that's another conversation now, isn't it? But the thing is, the 8th belief system pillar is Yeshua's force of nature. The Yeshua force of nature is is the 8th belief system pillar here within this here hierarchy setup. And then the 9th belief system and the final belief system pillar on this list. The world government's belief system. Yeah. The government leader of the world's belief system. Whoever the leader of the world is, whoever the leader of this, you want to call it a world, do whatever you want. Whoever that thing is that runs this thing here, the 9th belief system pillar belongs to you. I have you analyzed and recognized entirely in the spirit regarding who and or what you actually are. We've been dealing with you for years. The same you. That's what the 9th belief system pillar is. It's almost like I can look at it directly in its face. Even though I see my reflection on this here camera, huh? I know. It's called Yahweh for a reason, right? That's the second one, though. Now, the third one, that moves me back now to the 4-2, the ethical 2 that are outside of the bottom corner of sloth, right? The 2 outside, when you look at the diamond properly, the 2 outside will be fear and ignorance. Those are the 2 outside of that major 4, or that fundamental 4 there, fear and ignorance. So, a recap on the spiritual aspect of the game now. On the spiritual aspect of the game, the ethical 4-2, left corner, vanity or false pride, top corner, jealousy, or the ethos of the world today, logos. That's what the top corner is, the logos and ethos. The top corner of the world is jealousy. And then, or the top of the mental spirit prison is jealousy. And then you have wrath, greed, gluttony, and lust on the right corner, because the only thing we really, truly, honestly need to do in the physical reality is right. So the most effects or the most confusion will be on that one thing to stop us from doing that one thing. So we all do the wrong thing. And then in the bottom corner is sloth. And then 2 outside of the bottom corner of this here box that is keeping us imprisoned, fear and ignorance. You follow what I'm saying? Fear and ignorance. And then the 7-2 of the ethnical 7-2 of the spiritual game, part of the game. First one is racism. Needs to be dismantled by any more means necessary. Think, when I say ethnical, when I say belief system pillars also too, think, like I said, drivers. Meaning racism incarnate. Feminism incarnate. Foul sexual orientation incarnate. The nerd geek culture incarnate. Gangsta incarnate, you see? And then you have tribal soul tribe incarnate. And then you also have, finally, soul theocracy incarnate. Or all the religions in the world. It's just those 2 right there, the tribes and the religions. When I really get what I need going, I'm going to be coming after you with all that I got at all times. And what I have right now to come at you with is spiritual violence. I am going to beat you up in spirit. Quite literally. Every second that I live, I am trying to fight somebody up in spirit. Reason why is because I want everything around me to be right. I don't want things around me to be wrong. What is wrong with that? Stop being wrong around me. Be what is right around me. Stop being wrong around me. Be what is right around me. Oh, I know why you don't want to be right. I have some ideas now. Just going to talk about them a little bit. Put the truth in your faces, whether you want to have it in your faces or not. Moving forward. So that there is the spiritual aspect of the Super Jesus 47 game. What are the other 3? Since that's the reawakening. The reincarnation part now. Let's talk about that 4-7. The reincarnation. Let's dive in. The reincarnation is also codenamed the soul part of the game. The soul 4-7, or the souls. Meaning I'm targeting your emotions. The Super Jesus 47 targets your emotions. What you feel like. The Super Jesus 47 soul part of the game targets your emotions and what you feel like. And the main reason I'm targeting your emotion with the Super Jesus 47 soul part of the game is to eliminate your feelings. I want to destroy your feelings. Why? Because your feelings are keeping you away from me. Your feelings are keeping us all divided. Your feelings are what's preserving this lie to be this lie. What you feel like. It's all made up and metaphorical. So I'm going to tell you what you feel like with this part of my game here. This is what you feel like. The soul part of the game is telling you to your faces what you actually feel like all day long. You can't escape this feeling because this is your feeling. This is what you feel like. I'm gonna tell you what you feel like with this part of the game here. The soul's 4-7. So what are the ethical four for the, what's the ethical four for the Super Jesus 47 soul part of the game, the reincarnation? They are labeled in the, or it can be titled the 4 styles of spiritual communication. Spiritual communication. Spiritual communication. In a sense, this 4 styles of spiritual communication is also a driver, but it's not simultaneously. It's just a foundational aspect of how the spirit can work for you, in a sense. And the force, and if that makes sense to you, never lie to you nor mislead you. Integrity is the foundation of my tongue. So, the 4 styles of spiritual communication. Remember, I'm playing a game. This is literally a game. So if I sound like I have an attitude, that's also part of the game. It's character, because I'm supposed to be the villain in this game, like the super duper villain. You follow what I'm saying? Like I'm a super duper villain. But here, so if you fall for the attitude, I'm attacking you anyways. That's my excuse. Moving forward. So the soul's 4 now. The soul's ethical 4. What are they? Labeled and described, or the title that can be labeled and described, is the 4 styles of spiritual communication, and they are as follows: spiritual expression. I'm gonna say that one first. Spiritual expression, spiritual awareness second. Then again, when you look at it from an aspect of physical activity versus conscious driving the physical, you'd say spiritual awareness first, because the spiritual awareness is what's driving the expression. Because without the awareness, what are you expressing? You follow what I'm saying? Do you know what you're expressing right now? Do you know what you're expressing? Are you spiritually aware of what you are spiritually expressing? Are you spiritually aware of what you are spiritually expressing? Those are the 2 parts, the 2 first parts, by the way. Are you spiritually aware of what you are spiritually expressing? What is awareness? Awareness is knowledge or perception. Knowledge of a situation or fact. Perception of a situation or fact. Knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. Perception. Do you perceive what you are saying right now? Do you perceive what you are expressing right now? I personally do. And what am I expressing right now? A game in real life. A game that I'm playing on your lives right now. Not gonna stop until I don't need to play the game anymore. Moving forward. So, I am spiritually aware of what I am spiritually expressing. Those are the first 2 things right there. What are the other 2 things? Spiritual avoidance and spiritual depression. Avoidance is the opposite of awareness. Spiritual avoidance is the opposite of spiritual awareness. That's why you want to be aware of what spiritual avoidance is, so you can reject spiritual avoidance and keep spiritual awareness at all times. And then spiritual depression is the opposite of spiritual expression, you see. So keep away from spiritual depression and spiritually express. No more spiritual depression, just spiritual expression, you see. And then, now the 7, those are the 4 ethics right there. And now the 7 ethnics will be as follows. The 7 chakra gates. Information on all of the 7 chakras and everything regarding them, all of the constituents thereof. Now remember, I said the title of this here specific part of the game, the soul 7 ethics, soul 7 ethnics. The 7 ethnics are the chakras. The 7 ethnics are the chakras. I said the 7 dimensions of thought power. Here's why I say the 7 dimensions of thought power, because the 7 ethnics for the soul part of the game are as follows. The root chakra. And the root chakra holds the 3-dimensional thinking mind. 3-dimensional thinking mind space, might I add you. Space, because it's physical. Space. 3-dimensional thinking mind space. And the physical reality. And why do I say 3-dimensional? Because the mind, heart, and body. Mind, heart, and body alone, though. And then the 4-dimensional thinking mind. Now it's no more space, because we're just in the fundamental internal. You follow me? The sacral chakra, it holds the 4-dimensional thinking mind. The sacral chakra is the second one, holds the 4-dimensional thinking mind. You follow what I'm saying? And the 4-dimensional thinking mind is the fundamental forces of human behavior. The 4-dimensional thinking mind, so foundational. And if you look at it from a chakra tree, if you look at the chakras from an astral view versus an ethereal view, an astral view versus an ethereal view, the sacral chakra line up as our physical body, subconscious mind. From an astral view, the sacral chakra would line up as our physical body, subconscious mind. So those 4 right there, 4-dimensional thinking mind, 4 things in one, the 4 fundamental human forces of behavior, or the positive energy view or aspect of it. You'll get what this means later, because I'm going to tell you about it later. the positive energy, the negative energy, the balanced energy, and the quiescent energy, or the non-moving energy. Or you can say the space you are in energy, or the environment's energy, which is the core of reality itself, and the environment. If that makes sense to you, brothers and sisters. Moving forward, so here. The fourth or the third chakra is called the solar plexus chakra, and the solar plexus chakra holds the 5-dimensional thinking mind space. Think about a 5 in whatever kind of regards you'd like to think of. Me personally, right now in my mind, it's what's attacking our minds and driving our minds in the wrong direction. Because remember, fifth thing, or connections from other parts of the stories that I have here. Say a fifth part of the story usually. Fifth dimensional. I'll come back to it later. I don't want to confuse you. Solar plexus chakra holds the 5-dimensional thinking mind space. 5-dimensional thinking mind, being able to see 5 specific things at one time, or the ability to do so. And then moving forward, the heart chakra holds the 6-dimensional thinking mind. Every time I get to this part of the story, always think about the gangsters that I'm going to change over to being the greatest defenders, as well as I'm going to turn all the gangsters by way of convincing them and or influencing them to do better. All of the gangsters, every last one of you on this planet, no matter where you are. You are going to know what love actually is by any moral means necessary. Moving forward. So, what gangster am I talking about though? The GDs, gangster disciples. You'll get what all of this means later. I guarantee you will. It may take some time, but you'll get it. The next one is, that was the heart chakra I just mentioned with the 6-dimensional thinking mind space. Shout out to the GDs, gangster disciples. And next one is the throat chakra, 7-dimensional thinking mind. Next one is the third eye chakra, the 8-dimensional thinking mind. 8, you see, like the 8th belief system pillar that was just a moment ago. Just connects the number, the landing, all of that. That's what I mean. And then the crown chakra, the 9-dimensional thinking mind. You follow me? Now here's the thing though. There are 2 more chakras outside, which also give 2 more ethic codes or ethic grounds as well. And the 2 chakras outside are known as the soul star chakra and the earth star chakra. Those are the 2 chakras outside. The earth star chakra holds the 2-dimensional thinking mind space, as well as the root chakra, because it's a physical thing. And then the soul star chakra holds the infinite and or omnipresent dimensional thinking mind. And I said and or because it's omnipresent alone, or it's also connected to and or one with the infinite. You follow what I'm saying? Infinite and or omnipresent dimensional thinking mind is what the soul star chakra holds for thee. And now for the 2 ethics outside of the major 4 or the fundamental 4, they're titled spiritual offense and spiritual defense. So now full recap on the soul's 4-7. The soul's ethic 4-2 is labeled and described as the 4 styles of spiritual communication with soul football as more ways to practice in it, you can say. You follow what I'm saying? And they're titled spiritual awareness, spiritual expression, spiritual avoidance, and spiritual depression. And the 2 outside are spiritual offense and spiritual defense. Spiritual offense and spiritual defense combines spiritual awareness's capabilities and spiritual expression's capabilities in one. But as far as spiritual avoidance and spiritual depression, those 2 are outside of that their branch, even though they are inside of the original foundation, because I just need to bring you awareness of what is causing you to be so wrong around me, or wrong in the world, period. I see wrong in the world, and the more I address what's wrong, the more wrong becomes right. Words that may help. And then the ethnical 7 of the soul portion of the game, which is the reincarnation, soul reincarnation portion of the game, the ethnical 7, or what could be labeled and described as the 7 chakras and the 2 outside, which are the Soul Star Chakra and the Earth Star Chakra. And those are as follows, listed in order. All 9 of them this time. The Earth Star Chakra, 2-dimensional thinking mind, space. The Root Chakra, 3-dimensional thinking mind, space. Then the Sacral Chakra, 4-dimensional thinking mind. Then the Solar Plexus Chakra, 5-dimensional thinking mind. Heart Chakra, 6-dimensional thinking mind. GDs, Throat Chakra, 7-dimensional thinking mind. Third Eye Chakra, 8-dimensional thinking mind, or 8 DTM. You could just say 8 DTM. And then you have the Crown Chakra, 9 DTM. And then you finally have the Soul Star Chakra, the Most High God of the universe itself, and the infinite and/or omnipresent dimensional thinking mind. And so, that wraps up your Super Jesus 47 Soul Reincarnation portion of the game. Now, what's the gist of it, though? The gist of the first 2 parts of the game are simple. The reincarnation can ultimately destroy what's plaguing your spiritual reawakening right now. The reincarnation can ultimately destroy what's plaguing the spiritual reawakening right now. In other words, the information from the first part of the game, the information of the second part of the game, is the antithesis of it. You follow what I'm saying? Or at least it's a starting point. Because remember, these chakras that I tell you about, information from a select group of God's body has the information all wrong, intentionally. Was it your idea to have the information all wrong? Who taught you the information, Anodea Judith? Who taught you the information? Where did you get your chakra information from, Anodea Judith? Where did you get it from? Because I'm going to tell you right now, your feeling cannot be imbalanced. And you want to know what these chakras are? These chakras are the literal embodiment of your one feeling, the good one, that you have all the time. All 7 and/or 9 chakras are the embodiment of your persona, the embodiment of your actual self, the embodiment of the nature of your true God's characteristics. That's what these chakras are. That's what they label and describe, Anodea Judith. So for you to sit here and teach us that they can be imbalanced, you are lying to us. Most likely unintentionally, right? Because you didn't know. But you knew. You all know all of this. You just act like you don't. That's why I'm attacking you with it. Moving forward. So, the resurrection part of the game. Now I have new details to add unto it as well. Missed out on the last video, but now I got them. More details. So, what's the ethical 4-2 of the resurrection part of the Super Jesus 47 game? And what's the ethnical 7-2 of the Super Jesus 47 game's resurrection part? Let's talk about them. The first 4 can be labeled and described as the 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. The 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. And what are they? Positive human behavior, balanced human behavior, negative and/or evil human behavior, and dead and/or quiescent human behavior. And the 7 ethnical parts of it. What is the 7 ethnical parts of the resurrection? The 7 gates and/or characteristical spirits. The 7 gates and/or characteristical spirits. What are the gates? These gates are, or the gatekeepers. The characteristic spirits are the gatekeepers here. The 7 gates, or characteristic spirits. What are they? In reality, they are the negative, sinful principalities of the world today, and or the core reasoning why the next part of the game even exists. You follow what I'm saying? So, they are as follows. Principle 1 is greed. Principle 2, I have them in line for a certain reason. I have them lined up like this for a certain reason. Principle 1 is greed. Principle 2 is lust. Principle 3 is gluttony. Principle 4 is false pride or vanity. Principle 4 is vanity. Principle 5 is wrath. Principle 6 is sloth. And principle 7 is jealousy. Then the 2 more outside, of course. There are two ethnic temples, or 2 ethnic gates and characteristical spirits, or 2 ethnical gatekeepers outside of those major 7 gatekeepers right there. And those 2 ethnical gatekeepers that are outside of the major 7 ethnical gatekeepers in this part of the game are labeled and described as principal fear and principal ignorance. Principal ignorance being on the bottom, being the very first one when you count it from the 9 to the top, and then principal fear being the 9th and final one if you count it from 1 to 9. And then there are 2 outside, which, because of those 2, leads me to having 2 more outside of the first 4. And those first 2 outside of the first 4, now I have the name for them. They can be labeled and described as Christ Force or Life Force, which is the positive energy and the balanced energy combined into one. And then you also have the second one will be titled the Devil's Force. Just the Devil's Force, or the government's force. And the government's force is the negative evil energy and the current foundation combined. The goal is to take our power back. So in other words, to take that negative evil part of the government and turn it into a force that we can just utilize for our own well-being. You follow what I'm saying? Take everything the enemy meant for evil and turn it for good. You get what that means when I talk about the next part of the game. So we are essentially taking our power back with these words, or I am essentially labeling and describing a way we can take our power back with these words. The third part of the game is the resurrection part. The fundamental 4 forces of human behavior, you need to be aware of those and how they work. And then the 7 gates and characteristical spirits. These are the things in which are the core driving the surface. These things that I'm listing are what's driving the surface, or the core, what's driving the surface to be the wrong thing in which it is, if that makes sense to you. So these negative sinful principalities at their core, on the surface view, the core of your surface view. So like there is a surface core, and then there's like a core, if that makes sense to you. Because like on the surface level, these specific 7 deadly sins here that I'm telling you about are what's driving you to commit all your acts, your sins, and all of your misdeeds and all of your horrific crimes against humanity. How can reality even exist with something like this being able to happen within it? Type of casualties and horrific acts and things of that nature. You follow what I'm saying? These 7 deadly negative principality sins are what drive those characteristics to be what they are on a surface view of the core surface. If that makes sense to you. I wish y'all could just grasp more, man. I wish you were more intelligent now. No more wishing. I'm just gonna do whatever I can to make you this way. These words are just gonna do whatever I can to make you this way. Everything I do and say is for the sovereignty or principal heart of hearts. Everything I do and say, and any time that I do and say it is for the cause, the sovereignty or principal heart of hearts. So one final recap on the Resurrections 4-7, or the Resurrections Ethical 4, and the 4-2, and the Resurrections Ethnical 7-2. A lot of these parts of the game are relatively new at the same time. So that's why I'm stuttering just a little bit as I'm talking about it. It's relatively new. When I have it all memorized and jotted down in my mind, there won't be any stuttering. I'm not taking notes right here. I'm just going off of memory and some more things that I see moving forward. So, recap. The ethical 4 of the resurrection portion of the game. The 4 fundamental forces of human behavior. And then the 7 ethnical portions of the resurrection part of the game. Super Jesus 47 game. They are in detail the sinful principalities of the world, the gatekeepers, what I meant to say, if I didn't say that. 7 gates and characteristic spirits, principal lust, principal greed, principal lust, principal gluttony, principal vanity, principal wrath, principal sloth, principal jealousy. And then there are 2 outside, fear and ignorance, principal fear and principal ignorance. And then in the 4, the fundamental 4, forces of human behavior. Fundamental 4, forces of human behavior. The 2 outside, Yeshua's force and the devil's force. Yeshua's force and the devil's force. Yeshua's force, when you tap into that second one outside, it combines and or takes back also the negative devil's force. It takes it and it flips it into just a force. It just takes it and flips it into a force. And this force ain't gonna do nothing to you but give you your abilities to do something with it. You're just gonna have abilities to do something with this force. That's it. You follow what I'm saying? So in other words, Yeshua's force consists of the positive energy, the negative energy in its most subtle state, taken back to be put in its most subtle state, and then the balance energy all in one. And then also too, the environment. So in other words, Yeshua's force doesn't take just 2 of them. The Yeshua force takes all 4 of them and combines them into one, which is what I've been saying the whole time. The game is relatively new. Like, these words are relatively new. So in other words, the 2 outside are essentially, when you choose to stand on the side that you wish to stand on, like if you stand on the devil's force, all 4 of them will be corrupted. And if you stand on Yeshua's side, all 4 of them will be correct. You follow what I'm saying? There we go. The words are coming together. You want to know why it was taking me so long? Because I keep on avoiding talking about the dead aspect of your foundation right now. And the reason why I keep on avoiding that is because, like I said, I do not like to insult and or disrespect you at all. I really do not like to. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, to tell you the truth, I unfortunately have to disrespect everything you believe in. All of it. If you even think about something or even want to think about it, guess what though is? I have to disrespect that. It's unfortunate, man. It really is. But that's how we're going to get out of this. I have to bring you first awareness of what's plaguing your mind, heart spaces. Then I have to bring you an idea of what you can accept to get rid of what's plaguing your mind, heart spaces. Then the third part, resurrection, coming back to your senses, realizing what is going on. The fundamental 4 forces of human behavior are all in you as your mind, heart, body's foundation, as your mind, heart, body's environment, as your mind, heart, body's environmentality. You follow what I'm saying? That's what the 4 fundamental forces of human behavior are, combined into one in you, combined into you. And then the 7 gatekeepers, outside of those 4, the 7 ethnical gatekeepers outside of those 4, they are what's going to try to stop you and or revamp all of that again. You follow what I'm saying? And then those 2 outside, because here's the thing, the devil's side is where those 7 and those 9 negative principalities come from. And then on the Yeshua side is where those 4 fundamental forces of human behavior all combine into what they originally are, your mind, heart, body environments, your mind, heart, body's environment. That's what all 4 of them are combined in one, could be labeled and described, your mind, heart, body's environment. Yeshua's side makes it a mind, heart, body environment. But then the devil's side destroys that, turns it completely opposite. Yeah, that's going to be the game's information from there. But then there's another part of the game, the reestablishment part of the game is 4-7. Now this is interesting right here. The reestablishment is 4-7. What's the ethical 4 and the ethical 7 for the reestablishment part of the game? Let's talk about that now. This is brand spanking new right here. This information right here is brand spanking new. Make it quick though. So the 4 are as follows. Just 4 specific words. 4, I want to say, offensive and defensive words. Don't have a title for it yet, yo. The 4 fundamental spiritual, offensive, spiritual, defensive words. Here they are. Stop, destroy, take or defend. Stop, destroy, take or defend. That's what the 4 words are. I don't have a title or a heading for it yet, but it's just going to be those 4 words right there. Stop, destroy, take or defend. Stop, destroy, take or defend. Why stop, destroy, take or defend? Those 4, they're going to be 2 outside in a moment. I'm going to tell you about them because I got them now. To stop them, conscious mind wise. Remember, the only thing they want you to do is fail at everything and suffer to death. So stopping them in any kind of way, for any kind of reason, at any kind of time would be a moral justification, a morally justified act. Stopping them for any reason will be a morally justified act. It really would. At any time, from doing anything. They don't deserve anything they have, man. The oppressive nature, I mean. Do you really want to be in this, be as aggressive with this politics and da-da-da-da? Kinda. Think about it. Their policies mean nothing. Their laws mean nothing. It's all a game, bro. It's all a joke. It's all a game and a joke. The second part. Destroy. Why destroy? Because remember, our foundation is of love and love only. Our universal law, our one universal law is love and love only. What they are coming to do only is to force hatred on it with the next part of the game I'm getting ready to tell you about. The only thing they wish to do is force hatred onto our loving foundation. That's it. So destroying them destroys their hatred. And how do you destroy their hatred? By ensuring they do not get a chance to put any more toxicity on your foundation. Keep it pure. Keep it of pure love, because that's what it was meant to be. That's what it was destined to be. Pure love. And we were meant to be balanced on these here grounds of love. We were meant to be balanced on these here grounds of love, meaning upright and steady on these here grounds of love, meaning nothing being able to knock us off of our pivot on these grounds of love, on God. We are meant to be on God. Moving forward. Third part. Take. Take what? Take their power away from them. These are all physical activities, by the way. Take their power away from them. What do you mean by take their power away from them? What is their power? And don't forget what the word power is. The word power is the ability to do something. The ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality, mental faculty or moral quality. Remember, they fought for their rights to do something. They fought for their rights to do something. And what is it that they wish and only desire to do? Ensure you and everything like you and everything that has a skin tone, a full shade or two, darker than theirs, fail at everything and suffer to death. That's all they want. That's all they desire. That's their only power. Their only power is to ensure they entrench something into your reality in which will cause you to fail at everything and suffer to death. So, take their power away from them, meaning take away all of their abilities to enforce something into your life that is going to ensure you fail at everything and suffer to death. Moving forward. Take. That's the third part. And then the final part, defend. Because remember, these next 7 words that I'm getting ready to tell you about are the only things these people are going to come to you with. So, you're either going to stop them from coming at you with these next 7 words. They're going to destroy them from coming at you with these next 7 words, or destroy their abilities, or destroy their abilities to entrench the hatred into your loving foundation with these next 7, against these next 7 words, if that makes sense to you. And then you have take their powers away from them as they get ready to come at you with these next 7 words, and then defend yourself. Take their power away from them. Take their power away from them best way you can. Be safe. Be safe. Please be safe. I'm begging you. I'm praying unto you. Then, fourth one, defend yourself against them. Remember, the whole purpose is the establishment of principal heart of heart sovereignty. The whole purpose of all of this is the establishment of principal heart of heart sovereignty. Everything be right at all times. Everything be good at all times. Everything be at peace at all times. Peace, love, unity, and advancement. That's what the point of all of this is. It's the point of all of these words for. Only purpose. The only purpose for these words. 7 ethnics of the reestablishment part of the game. They are as follows. Number 1, disrespect. They will come at you with disrespect.